Hey everyone, I'm Jam.
And I am Jason.
This is the first iteration of what may not be many of podcasts for your life.
So you can tell we're really optimistic so far about how this is going to turn out. But we decided just to share our thoughts for life. This is, after all, podcasts for life. We just wanted to share thoughts from our life to yours. And just see what happens, just general reflections about life.
So today we're going to talk about theme songs for TV shows. But before that, we probably should share a little bit about who we are, who you're listening to. So Jason, you want to start us?
Yeah. So my name's Jason. I live in Dallas, Texas. And I have an awesome wife who we've been married for a little more than a year. And I work at an amazing organization called Global Aid Network, and we do compassionate aid for different people around the world in need, and I help out with their marketing team.
So my intro is really similar. I live in Denton. I'm also married to an amazing wife.
You stole that from me.
Biggest difference is that, different wife, by the way, with different wives.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Biggest difference is that I have 2 dogs, and also work for GAIN, Global Aid Network, and on the marketing and communications team with Jason. So that's, but just as a disclaimer, nothing said on this podcast or even the podcast itself is affiliated with GAIN other than the fact that GAIN happens to employ both the people on the podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's enough about us and who we are.
Theme songs. So they're pretty awesome. So, what would be the theme song for your life? If you were to have a theme song, it could be a song, it could be an actual TV or movie theme song or whatever. What would you say would be your theme song?
Okay, so mine would probably be the theme song to... So it's not so much theme song as his opening theme, score.
Right, of course, yeah.
So there's no lyrics. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah, that's fine.
The theme song to Twin Peaks is one of my favorites.
I thought you were going to say Dawson's Creek for a second, and
oh my gosh,
I'm glad you didn't.
That one is a good one though.
I want to
win. Yes, that one's really good. But
Twin Peaks.
Have you ever heard the Twin Peaks theme song?
I haven't, no. But
okay.
I've heard you talk about it before.
Okay, well, the good thing about technology is that I can play it for you so quickly.
Is there any copyright issues?
I really hope not. And I think if we play less than 30 seconds, we're okay.
Okay, cool.
While I'm pulling it up, do you tell us your theme song?
Yeah. My theme song would definitely be the Seinfeld theme song. I think when it comes to iconic riffs or just iconic theme songs in general, I think that one's at the top. You just start the opening note of a bass tuning up or whatever, and just instantly people know, oh, that's Seinfeld, and then you get all those along with the slap bass. So, and I'm a bassist, so I love bass. I just think that it just is great.
So it matches up with your life, and that as soon as people start hearing you,
it's it's not going to be a serious show, whatever you couldn't put that theme song on CSI because people would be like, this is going to be a joke, but
right.
It works for something that's not too serious.
So as soon as people hear your voice, just as soon as people hear the Seinfeld theme song, they're like, oh, it's Jason. Yeah,
basically. And
they know what to expect.
They know that they probably shouldn't take me seriously.
Okay, so here's the opening theme to Twin Peaks.
Okay, sweet.
Play a second of it, and what's interesting about it too, it's so unique in the mixture of 90s-y feels and synthetic instruments, and in almost over dramatic,
X-Files kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's pre X-Files.
Wow,
and
there was a time before the X-Files.
There was a time. It's so iconic that anytime I hear it, I take it back to the year that I fell in love with Twin Peaks.
That's cool.
I have a bias about it, so maybe me picking it isn't so much its accuracy to match up with my life, but more just me being in love with the song. So
that's great. Wow, it kind of reminds me of Stranger Things for some reason. So is this when like they'd have the characters' names in videos?
They just have all these shots. So imagine if you haven't seen the show, all these shots around Twin Peaks, like nature shots. Like there's a shot of this bird that's very obviously fake. There's waterfalls, trees, like tons of nature, ponds and stuff the whole time. So I'm gonna stop it there.
So that music would be the theme song of your life, right there.
Yeah, and the other thing that's kind of funny about it is it's such a long theme song. Like the intro credits for Twin Peaks is so long.
Oh wow!
So most people skip them every time because they're like, wow, they're playing the full thing every time.
Yeah,
it's like a good few minutes of intro stuff of just the names of the actors, but you don't see any of the actors and the names of the writers and creators and stuff.
Wow!
And it reminds me of my life because I feel like there's so much like preface and context before I ever interact with somebody. I'm like, wait, before you hear anything, before we talk about anything, let me give you all this preface for my life so that you don't need for me to feel comfortable at the conversation or this meeting or
how interesting
hanging out. So
that's pretty deep. I also feel like that theme song could be like the theme song for a masseuse.
Like they would play it while they're massaging people?
Yeah, like I just feel like, it could be.
That's not.
It was pretty relaxing. It sounds like something that like my mom would play before bed, even though I don't think she's ever seen that show.
It's great. The whole score is like one of my favorites, and it's really this mixture of lame on purpose, and in a lot of ways it's pretty. But then you're like, man, these are fake instruments. The whole thing is not real. Like there's one song that has saxophone, that is a software saxophone. And it's so obvious. It's not even a good one because it was in the 90s. And it is just like, it's so interesting. But it becomes the sort of overtone for the whole score. So the whole show, it's what you're used to. And so then you hear any bit of it and it like brings you back to the show because there's no soundtrack that's like it.
Wow. There's no soundtrack that's bold words, but you heard it from him, ladies and gentlemen. There's no soundtrack like it.
What's the worst TV theme?
Like the worst theme song that I've heard?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like
I can't say Too Many Cooks.
No, definitely. I would never say that. It's kind of hard because like I feel like I don't remember the bad ones, but you remember all the good ones or the classic ones. Mm-hmm. Like when I think of theme songs, I think of like Arthur. Like everybody who grew up in the 90s probably knows the Arthur theme song.
True.
And I think of the Brady Bunch or Addams Family or. Obviously those were some of the older ones. Newer ones, Seinfeld, obviously.
Yeah.
Even Stranger Things, like we kind of know those theme songs. But I just can't remember bad ones. Like, I don't know if it's probably like, for me, it's like you remember them or you don't, and all of the ones that you don't are kind of just like filler music.
Yeah. Right. And I wonder too if a bad theme song indicates at all how bad the show is, because if the show doesn't last, then the theme won't be remembered very much because it's not going to be around very long. So do we have all these great theme songs lying around because we also have great shows that went on for years? Like Seinfeld went on for like 9 or 11 years, something like that.
Yeah, it was a while.
I don't know about Dawson's Creek.
Yep.
So
Friends, everybody runs Friends.
Yeah.
Theme song for that. Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls,
I don't know the Gilmore Girls one.
The Gilmore Girls is like that. If you lead, I will follow. The only reason I know that is because mother and sister have watched many an episode of Gilmore Girls. So, and Netflix came out with something recently where, with those like classics like Friends and Gilmore Girls and other TV shows, you can skip the intro now, which basically means you're skipping the theme song.
Huh.
I just feel like to the creators of those theme songs, like they're known for their, like a guy gives you your resume and it's like, what do you do? Why are you trying to work here? It's like, well, I made the Friends theme song. Like, well, I guess that was a band, but well, for whatever it is.
Okay.
It's like.
Yeah, I totally get you.
That's their, number one thing on the resume is like.
I feel like most people don't skip those stuff because, like, a lot of people these days, me included some of the time, watch a show and you kind of do something else too. And so, to me, I put it on and then I know I have a buffer period at the beginning of a show.
Yeah, like 30 seconds.
To do something else for just a period of time. Like, I can, like, start the show and then go grab my coffee or whatever and go grab my phone charger.
You can make a whole meal in that, a minute and 30 seconds for Twin Peaks,
You can make a whole bowl of ramen.
Whole bowl of ramen.
One exception, I think, to this is that there's a show I liked in the past, and I never could like the theme song to it. But it didn't taint my view of the show. It just was like not enjoyable. Did you ever watch the show Psych?
I did, yeah.
So their theme song was like the I Know You Know.
Psych, yeah, in the end, yeah.
Yeah. So that theme song is done by the band of the director, like the showrunner of Psych.
Oh.
And so in some ways, I'm like, okay, this is not a great track. It's not awesome. And the fact that it ends with Psych You Out in the end is kind of like almost too corny and perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty cliche.
And then I also thought when I realized it was when I found out it was the director, like the showrunner, I was like, no wonder. It's like a pretty biased opinion about choosing the theme song because it's his own band that he's in. So, yeah, I'm not crazy about it.
Not crazy about it?
It didn't ruin the show.
I'm also not crazy about the show, so there you go.
There you go.
I was more of a Monk fan.
Well, Monk was really good.
Which also had a pretty catchy theme song, Randy Newman.
It did.
It's a jungle out there.
That one's a really good one.
It's pretty good. Works well with the premise of the show.
Anytime I say I could be wrong to like M or anyone I'm talking to, and there's like a pause afterwards, I'll say, but I don't think so.
There you go.
Like that, which is perfect.
That's awesome.
I want to think of all the time. Did you ever watch Matlock? Did you watch Matlock?
No, but I've heard about it.
Okay, so I don't remember the main part of the theme or anything, but they had this like recurring sort of little jingle kind of thing that would happen at the end of certain scenes and at the end of the theme song, and it was like I want to say it's like a trumpet or something, but it's basically the little tune goes like boom, and like it would like tie up the end of the episode or like before it goes to commercial or something.
Interesting.
And it's very weird. It's almost comical, but this is like it's like a crime show with Andy Griffith as a lawyer. So that one's great too to work into your everyday. You can like do something and then before you close the door, like leaving a room, be like and then close it.
Right. How interesting. Well, I mean that's all I've got for today for theme songs. We're just getting the creative juices flowing with this podcast, really. Sometimes we just need to talk about random topics and get things off our chest, like metaphorically and physically. But that sounds weird, but you just need to do that sometimes.
Yes. So the current form of the podcast is we talk about things from our life for yours. So,
but if you ever have something where you're like, I'd really love to hear their thoughts on microwaves, you could totally send us an email at podcastforyourlife@gmail.com.
Yeah, do it. And just to be clear, it's not like we're promising to really help.
We're like the opposite of self-help.
Yeah.
Maybe not the opposite.
It's more like, yeah. And we also aren't promising that our opinions are like valuable.
Not at all.
But, I guess the only thing that we can promise is that we like to talk about stuff. So
I think we could promise that our opinions are invaluable. That was pretty deep. Thought of that right now myself.
Cool. So email is
podcastforyourlife@gmail.com. Podcastforyourlife@gmail.com.
Okay, sweet.
And you can also check us out on Facebook. We have a page up and running, and we're on SoundCloud too, which is probably one of the ways you found this. But tell your friends. We're on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes. Spread the word.
The quick way to say it is we're on your favorite podcast app.
That's cool.
Yep.
There's an app for that.
Yeah, there's any app will be on there.
It's like apps for your life.
Good.
See you guys tomorrow.